guess this is a live video. I figured I do my recordings without editing anyways, so I might as well try live and see what happens. My phone is probably going to die. So yeah, we will see what happens with this. My name's Deb, short for Deborah. I've learned Deborah is a warrior in the Bible, so very fitting because I am here for the collective uprising, a warrior of light. Actually, my yoga certification, they titled it Radiant Warrior. So that was kind of a nice little synchronicity. Synchronicities. Are you a fan of synchronicities? That's that's what this channel is about. That's what this uprising is about. Is understanding the synchronicities of life and using that to guide us in flow. And I believe this title is something about success and failure. Actually, I want to look at the screen real moment. This is my first live, so let me just take a moment to even look at the screen. I've never looked at a how-to. Is there supposed to be chats? I don't need. Okay. Well, I guess that is how it's going to be. I could do questions and things. Nope. All right. Well, okay. Back to the video. Success versus failure. Which one do we aim for? Most people aim for success and then get hung up when they reach failure. But if you ask an inventor, they will always, most successful people will tell you that failing is the way to success. The more times you fail, the more you learn how to do it, right? The better, the more practice you get. Think of the light bulb. How many times did he have to fail before it was a success? And so, but they do have the mindset of failing, right? So, let's take my life for example, because that's what I do. I share my human experience to help you with your human experience. My human experience, I saw that there were choices that I could make that would lead to success. Everyone says if you go to college, you're guaranteed success. Everyone said if you do this or that, you're guaranteed success. If you want a sexy body, you eat well and go to the gym and you're guaranteed success. But a lot of those things aren't necessarily guaranteed success. And if they're guaranteed success, then what's the fun in that? If my only task is to follow steps of 1, 2, and 3 to be guaranteed a comfortable life and the same life as everyone else that followed step 1, 2, and 3, I mean, that's cool if that's your jam, but my spirit took a different path. My spirit almost sought out the most difficult choice that people would avoid because people would look at those choices and say, that choice is going to lead to failure. Let's take teenage pregnancy. No, I did not get pregnant on purpose, but I did subconsciously manifest that. Yes, those two can coexist. I can look back at my energy, my comments, my the things that I noticed. Oh, there's a certain word. When we put our attention to things, that's how things get created, right? So there were certain things that I was noticing about other teenage mothers that I noticed. And within those noticings, I was subliminally calling that into my life on an energetic level because I knew it was going to be harder. And I remember one specific, I mean, there were many handfuls. I very clearly remember paying attention to the teenage mothers. Obviously, I knew that was going to be my path. So there was one that she had her baby. It was fine. You know, she lived with her mom still. The baby's daddy lived down the street. It was kind of like a low grade relationship, you know, but it was like fine. She smoked cigarettes. You could tell by the body. They were just like, just living life, right? And I've seen single moms. I'll just This one wasn't even a teenager, but moms that were in jail and on drugs all the time and didn't have their kids at all. And then I saw the teenage moms, ones that had grown to having a six-figure business and just having a different way of being. And that to me was really inspiring. That to me was more appealing to chase than a college degree and ladder of corporate success. And also, I'm a woman. Like, it's just not ingrained in it. Corporate success was never ingrained into me. As a child, I was growing up playing teacher, wanting to be an animal biologist, and I don't even know if that's the right term. And then when I was playing, always wanting to be on my bikes, playing superheroes and running around in the storm, staying out past dark, being wild and eating the fruits and vegetables of the neighborhood. That's how I grew up. So to chase corporate, not a thing. But seeing that a woman who had a child earlier than necessary and turned her life into something else, that's a powerful woman. That's a woman that overcame some failures. That's a woman that overcame judgment and persecution and barriers. Like when you're 16, you're 16. It doesn't matter if you have a baby, you are still a minor that has no rights as an adult, even though you have a child of your own. So, like, I would have more rights over my child than I would have over myself. How crazy is that we live in a world where that's possible? And then in some instances, like getting my high school degree in order to graduate early, they're like, well, if you got married, then you could vouch for yourself. So I had to become the ownership of a man in order to personally get my own high school degree before I was 18 years old. Does that sound like an earth that we should desire to live in? No. So that was my beginnings into the adult world. And that is where my inspiration comes from to create change because change is possible. It just takes knowledge, education, and belief. And that's what I'm here for. I am here to educate you that there's different ways. I am here to give you the knowledge that has been hidden, subdued, purposely ripped away from our history so that you can have the belief that there is a better way and we can overcome the wars and the injustice and the useless spending that those people do. Like, we feel like we're giving away our money and our power to people that are making choices we don't agree with. We can bring our power back on that. But it's going to be done through love and dissolving of the old ways. We can't fight war with war. It's got to come from a sense of calm and a sense of faith. So, with all of that said, we seek success because other people have reached success and they give us a plan that says this is how you reach success. And so we follow it because it's a plan and we like plans. Our brain functions off of plans and predictions. Predictability means safety, right? I'm actually going to pause for a moment to get a drink. Predictability means safety. So when a person purposely chooses most every single step of my life has been off of intuition and or going the opposite of my intuition because I want to be like, "Oh, well, what is this? Let's find out. Let's have some fun." Right? Because I want a challenge. I don't want to follow someone else's path. I am not here to follow someone else's path. All right. Someone else has put into a path that electricity exists. That's cool. Cell phones exist. That's cool. But I'm also on a path to question that. Is electricity being done in the best possible way? No, I'm pretty sure back in 1920 they had a way that it would have been transmitted without wires for free, without all of the control over the energy sector. And telephones, they're great. However, A, we have telepathy, so that's kind of cool. But B, they're doing things with phones that aren't healthy for us. Phones can be done in a way that can be used as a tool, but they are also doing things that purposely harm our spirits and our energy. And we need to take control over that. If we're going to have technology, it's got to be done in the right way. And maybe we can't change things worldwide or things with the billionaires, but we can create new billionaires to do things our new way. Do you see how many businesses there are? I was going to say the world, and I mean, I don't want to get technical. Just America, city, state. Oh, my phone is going to be dying. Okay, so look at how many businesses there are wherever you are. How many pizza shops are there? How many clothing shops are there? How many grocery stores are there? How many gear stores are there? How many, I mean, just pick something, right? All those exist because someone didn't like the way someone else was doing something, or they saw a way it could be done better. And so they did it better. They're still coexisting. I mean, you have competition within stores, right? But they're still coexisting. There's always going to be enough clients for one store, and there's always going to be enough clients for another store. And yes, places go bankrupt. I'm not trying to get in technicality. This is just an example. But the point is, it's an example that we can create something new and still have it exist alongside the crappiness that's existing now. And not that that's the end goal, right? We don't want to have a world where people exist in poverty and war. We don't want that, but it's going to take baby steps. And we're going to need patience. When you're going through college, how much patience do you need for a degree? I wouldn't know because I don't have a degree, but I'm told it's what, 2 years, 4 years, 6, 8, whatever your degree is. Spiritually, most things run on a 7-year cycle. Do you have the patience to see what's happening in your life within a 7-year cycle? I know every time I have materialistically, logistically set out a 5-year plan, I have either completely foiled that plan and had a new plan by 3 years, or completed that plan and created a new one by 3 years. So I know that I have the skills and abilities to reach my goals faster than what I think I can because I've proven it over and over. And I enjoy failing. In fact, I almost test myself to see how many things I can fail at. And in relationships, I look at a lot of personalities that I'm like, yeah, that's not a husband material, but it'd be fun to say I failed at that relationship. It's part of the experience. It's great and it's fun. So maybe aim for failure and have patience because there are cycles that need to take place before you can reach your next cycle and your next level. And I'm going to end that there. My name's Deb. I share the human experience to help others with their human experience. And I got to get to work. So we're cutting this short. If live something, again, I need to actually look at this, maybe watch a YouTube video on how to do live so we can get chats going, questions going, do this once a week. It'd be great. So much love. Have a blessed day and cheers.